Welcome into Coach's Corner. We are just one game away from finding out what teams will be playing at the IGH SAU softball tournament, and one of those teams that are still alive is the Newell-Fonda Mustangs. Now, we are joined by their head coach, Courtney Darrow. Thanks for being here, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start with that game against Akron Westfield that got you into your region final. Kind of walk us through how that game unfolded through your eyes.
To start the game, Akron has a great leadoff hitter. We knew she was going to be a tough out. And, Kira started off, getting a strikeout, and they had that, illegal pitch to start off. But then we got her out again. And from that first inning, Kira's stuff I knew was going to be really good to set those three top hitters down in a row and then come back in the bottom of the first and get a quick run right away, quick 2 runs right away. That was just awesome to see and set the tone from the very beginning.
Absolutely, and you kind of talked about Kira right there. Kind of talk about the pitching consistency all year and then kind of hit on that perfect game against the Westerners.
Yeah, Kira's really hungry this year. Definitely last year, with her injury, she's back and she's really hungry. She works a lot in the off season to perfect her craft. She has a lot of poise on the mound and nothing can usually rattle her. She knows she has a great defense behind her, which allows her to just be great on the mound and just keep building her confidence each inning at a time. And, Friday, she was just on her game from the get-go, and that was just great to see. And then have the bats, come up right behind her and just let her keep doing her work on the mound.
When I talked to her after the game, she was like, yeah, it's great. I love it. But it's also fantastic to have, players behind me that can make plays in the outfield and make good plays when there's ground outs in the infield. Can you kind of talk about the other key players on this roster that make this postseason run possible?
Yeah, Kira is definitely all about the team. She doesn't want a spotlight on her because she knows that it can't happen without her teammates behind her. Our senior class is great leaders with McKenna and Isabel. They set the tone from the beginning in practices in the off season. A lot of girls look to them, for advice, and just they set the tone energy wise, confident wise in our junior class. It just continues down the line all the way to our 8th graders. They're just a very tight-knit group, and we know in any given game, any given moment that anyone can kind of step up and, get that big hit or make that big out that we need.
And tomorrow you have a very big matchup with an undefeated Remsen St. Mary's squad. Walk us through the game plan for that one.
The girls, they want to get to this point every season. And Remsen, they're a great team. Undefeated. They've played a lot of great teams as well, but I think we've played a lot of good teams as well to get us ready for this. A lot of big teams that we play in the weekend tournaments, and we pack our schedule really tough, just like Remsen does. And the girls are really hungry. They're going to be very focused from the get-go, and we just got to focus on one inning at a time and just believe in ourselves as we always have this whole season, and let the chips go where they may, and see what the outcome is, and hopefully we're on top.
Absolutely. And, you go to the softball field in Fonda, and you just kind of see that fence lined with all those billboards, I'll call them, of state tournament wins, state championship appearances, things like that. What is the history of Newell-Fonda softball, and how does that kind of propel you this season?
I don't think it just is in softball as well. These girls, they've been at state volleyball this year. They've been at state basketball, state golf, state track. It's just within the Mustang blood to be great in everything that they do. In softball, we've been very special to have a great history. And the girls have looked to all those previous players and all those girls on that Banners team and want to be them at one point in their lives. And, a lot of these girls have been to the state tournament before in softball, and they know what it takes to get to that big stage. Obviously not just at softball, but all the sports. They just live and breathe sports. They want that pressure. They want that, to go make a play type of thing. And, I love every single girl on this team, and they just give it their all every night.
You kind of talk about it being in their blood. Kind of walk me through, is there a feeling that you get before a season starts where you just kind of know this is a special season with a special group of players, or do you just kind of have to feel it out as the year goes on?
No, I think you definitely feel it beforehand in that off season, and just definitely in their past sports as well. They started the year off going to state volleyball, and they got that taste right away from this school year, and they let it go into the basketball season. So every single sports season that they've been through, they've just gotten hungry and hungrier, and they've just been very successful all year. And they want to finish the school year off strong, and get back to that state softball season. And they put in a lot of work in that off season, during the season, to propel them to that next step, their next goal that they want to get to.
I think my final question for you is, obviously, like we mentioned, you play the Hawks tomorrow. You got to let the chips fall where they may. You're going to play your best. Let's say you guys do go on, you do advance, you make it to the state championship tournament. Kind of walk me through the mindset as you would head into those games.
First we're gonna focus on Monday. We're gonna focus on Monday and play the best game that we can against a very good Remsen team. And then if we happen to punch our ticket, it's still just one game at a time. To be in that top 8 in 1A, that's a special thing. Even right now, being in this top 16, these girls have proven to themselves and our communities and the whole state that we're ready to be there, and we deserve to be there. And if we punch that ticket, we're just going to be focused in on that one game and take one game at a time, and keep doing Mustang softball that we have done all year. Not change much. Just keep doing what we have been doing, because it got us to this point.
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I just want to thank you one more time, Coach Darrow, for taking some time and talking some Mustang softball with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.